Tell me this year's right. Tell me time's on my side and give me skies of grey. The chances lost for me today. Don't tell me life is a crime. I'm done being sad all the time. Please tell me that I am wrong. Please tell me that I am wrong once in a while. In the cover of the night, I'll take the cards on the left and you take right. If we fall
Hello everyone and welcome back to Bachukolio Streams. As usual, I'm Bachukolio. How you all doing? What are you up to? What's going on? I am still managing to keep up my painting high. So I've been painting pretty much all the time that I can when I can find some spare time. Just try to adjust this light. It doesn't really work. Oh well. So yeah, as you may have seen in the in Facebook and Instagram, I posted recently completed mini. I've tried some things with it. I'm somewhat happy with how it came out, but the most important thing that worked out was the enamel top coat that I put. I managed to put it on without stripping any of the paint, which is one hell of an achievement after my initial tests with the thing. And the matte finish that it gives is just amazing. I really love it. So I will try to keep it up as soon as I get any other finished things. Maybe a while, but we'll see. In the meantime, I've already started on another one of the Norse dudes. Will be this guy, this chunky fella right here. It'll be fun because I've been painting so many tiny models lately that this will be a fun change of pace, and it'll be a good opportunity to work on my glazing. I could maybe even try to experiment, because I'm trying to get more tools in terms of techniques under my belt. It would be good to try, let's say, two brush blending or wet blending or something like that. But I'll see what happens. Meanwhile, what we'll actually be working on today is still this Necromunda Goliath smiley dude. I'll mostly try and fix the flesh. He's been standing right in front of me this whole past week, and it's driving me insane on how sketchy the flesh has become. I'm gonna try and smooth it out, and then finally move on to some other colors to work on. We'll see how it goes. I decided to start a little early today because, well, I had the time, I have the inspiration, I'm in the mood, so we might as well get to do it. Yep, so as I mentioned on Monday, I've also been looking through the rules for a few games that have caught my attention lately, as in the miniatures that they come with. So I might be babbling a little bit on that topic at some point in time. But yeah, overall, things are looking up. Working from home has given me the chance to check out a lot of other streams and streamers and enrich my Instagram, the channels that I follow in Instagram, the profiles, quite significantly, which is giving me another boost of inspiration to get cracking on with the painting. It's been good so far. As soon as some other people join, I will tell you all about the channels that I've been to and that I mostly lurked in, because it was during while I was working, so I couldn't exactly participate too vividly in the chats. But still, if you're having some time to follow along during your day or your evening, it's gonna be good to hear out some of the channels that I've checked out. Overall, really awesome, really fun dudes and dudettes, like just great. I haven't felt this hobby positive in quite a while, and I am trying to take full advantage of this for as long as it lasts. Again, I'm sort of feeling that work will creep up on me again, and I might not get too much free time to diddle around with my hobbies. So I'll make the most of it for as long as I can. I'll be shooting for a 3.5 hour stream today. instead of the usual 2.5. Maybe actually get some work done. I'll just have a quick cigarette, look through what colors I need to get out to prepare, and I'll jump right into it. Also, I'm making pretty good progress on Fallout, probably because I'm skipping quite a bit of the game. Quite a few of the optional quests, the ones that don't make too much sense to be naturally found. For those interested, we've already found a water chip, and we have been assigned with the 2 other tasks. But for the moment I think it's vaguely one larger quest, but I think it counts as 2 in the status bar, so I'll be doing the same thing as I always do, so go to the military base first and the cathedral second. If you have any ideas for other games that you would like to see, please let me know. I'm currently considering starting off after we finish off. Hey there, Homo. What are you up to? What you doing? Yeah, it is. I decided to start a bit earlier today to have some more time to paint. And I wasn't really doing anything else, so I thought, why not? Did you manage to get together online with people yesterday for the Mafia? Yeah, pretty much what we were talking with you a couple of streams ago. That I'll probably be going into Resident Evil 1, the remake. Because I'm making some good progress on Fallout, and I don't think that there will be too many streams left of it. Oh, that's nice. Did many people show up? Yeah, that's... if you ever had LAN parties before, that part is pretty much mandatory every time. Nice, that's quite a few. Lovely. Me, I was pretty much just painting. Working from home has given me the chance to follow some new streamers on Twitch, and I've just been chilling on to a good stream. And oh, okay, I didn't know it was so multi-people oriented. Oh, massively multiplayer. Yeah, and so I've been over at Brush for Hire. If you haven't checked them out, and if it's in any way interesting for you to check out other painters, it's a really fun chat, really fun stream. He's a very good painter, and also very welcoming. Yeah, I would think so. But still, if you're wondering what to watch, it's a really nice place to hang out with. People in the chat are nice. Brush for Hire is great as well, so it's been fun. Right, so on to more pragmatic stuff. So this guy's flesh has still been a thorn in my eye for quite a while. Oh wow, that's nice. I didn't know you enjoyed the more classical aspect of things. Nice. That's great. Do they have a from their main webpage or something? Oh, YouTube. Okay. Right. This and this, maybe? Maybe. Nah. I'll try and glaze down the rougher, sketchy parts of the flesh to try and blend them up a little bit, and then we'll be going over some other pieces of the body. Right. So over the weekend I've been looking at Privateer Press's new stuff. I do remember that I really enjoyed what they put out for War Machine. I wanted to see what's up with them recently. After the War Machine meta died here, sadly. And I saw two things that they're currently up to. One of which we mentioned a while ago, so Warcaster Neo Mechanica. And I watched a few of their demo playthroughs. And for a skirmish game, well, I am extrapolating mostly from the local hobby shop. So from the game, where I first found people that played the game, and it was pretty big when I started out. So that was 2014, I think. And as soon as I started, like a couple months later, they just moved on to Malifaux. Well, yeah, but they are pretty much what I consider a reference point. And I certainly haven't seen any War Machine at the next level club. But if you do know anywhere that War Machine is being played, I would be very grateful to know that. Or if you yourself are into it, or have been, or would be, or anything along those lines. Granted, I do only have the Mark II rules, so I missed out on the Mark III. Yeah, okay. But anyway, so I've been looking over at Privateer Press's stuff and Neo Mechanica. Yeah, about that. So 2013, 2014, maybe. Something like that. Or was it earlier? Nah, it couldn't have been. Nice. And the thing that popped up in my mind when I was looking at Warcaster was the fact that this is designed to be a game that, while being skirmish, will end up being more expensive than Infinity is right now. Because they have a spawning mechanic, meaning that you don't pre-build your lists. You have no lists to build. You essentially take all of the models that you have and you summon troops throughout the game using some sort of webways or whatnot. And so far so good, you know. You get one copy of everything and you should be ready to go. Because once something gets killed, it's taken off the table, but you can resummon it later on. Yeah, it's not a bad idea. I haven't seen it done elsewhere, so it's interesting to check out. So if you remember War Machine and Hordes, exactly, yeah, it becomes pretty much a rock, paper, scissors type of thing. You look at what your opponent summons and you try and see if you can counter that when you can summon. And you get a fixed amount of resource for every phase. And you can use a part of that resource to summon units. But the problem is that they have put the numbers limit of each of the same squad. So for instance, the same mech Warjack, you can have 4 of at the table at the same time. You can't have more than those. However, when you take this into basic math, and they release the starter with like 7 units, one of which is made out of 3 models, you are already, if you want to be real competitive and really capable of answering with every possible combination, you are up to like 36 models that you have to have. Essentially 4 times the starter. And in competitive play, when this develops a little bit more and the range extends, this is going to become insane. Like, people will be dragging boxes of miniatures. Again, in competitive play. But it's gonna be weird. Also, it does use alternating activations, so it's not I play all of my dudes, you play all of your dudes. But it's also not like the other attempts at doing this, which is... I agree, which is why I really make this point. Exactly. And this is why I kinda didn't like how War Machine was played here. Because it was played on a casual basis, but in a competitive way. Whereas the rules allowed for such amazing things. And I'm really sad that that never came into fruition. But anyway, old gripes. So the activations, you can activate two units per your own turn, which is again something I haven't seen otherwise elsewhere. Usually it's either all of my guys go and then all of your guys go, or it's one and alternates with the other. Or it's the random activations, which is insane. If you ask me, this it completely destroys the game. But oh, it's interesting. It has potential, but with this four units limit, this is going to become real bad real quick. Yeah, exactly, exactly. And there is huge opportunity. I mean, there was in... Yeah, I understand completely. Because there is so much stuff you can do with terrain and with objective markers that can actually do stuff. And I've always been contemplating like asymmetrical scenarios where, let's say, one player deploys in the middle and has a whatchamacallit. One of the markers for command points can be, let's say, a stationary cannon with a high profile, but he will have less units, and the other player can try and overtake that, stuff like that. Also an entrenchment, because you can actually destroy terrain. You can have hit points on terrain pieces, so it'll be nice to have some very maze-like terrain full of walls and stuff, and you would need to strategically break down doors in order to create, let's say, firing lanes or stuff like that. Not to mention the pure campaign narrative potential. Which actually did have mechanics set up for it in Mark II, the War Machine. But yeah, so I suppose it's pretty much the same that you're feeling with fantasy, Warhammer Fantasy. And the other game that I checked out was Riot Quest, which is a lot more board gamey, and you essentially build out a squad of... Yeah, I didn't either, but I saw some miniatures of it being painted really nice and really fun. I wanted to check out the game. So it's a hero-based game where you have up to 4 to 10 player units. And it's also multiplayer, as in you can actually have about, what was it? I think it's up to 4 players can play it simultaneously. And you play it on a board that has spawning points and treasure chests, and essentially what you do is try and complete randomly drawn objectives from a deck. And the rules are pretty simple. They're quick to get into. It's a fast-moving game. You can buy in-game. You can buy equipment for your heroes with in-game currency and whatnot. And it does look pretty fun. But then I decided to look into how to actually get into the game. And unlike... So while it's pretty obviously... the setting is Iron Kingdoms. So the War Machine setting. But it's like either post-apocalyptic version of it, as in something like just before or just after End Times or Warhammer, something along those lines. But it's again this weird mix of steampunk, arcana, fantasy type stuff. But again, the setting and let's setting and the fluff behind it are, how should I say this, fairly flat. Because it is pretty much a board game and it comes with a board. And so far they've only put out a total of 2 boards. So the starting board and another one for playing the game. So it's pretty limited in that capacity. And while you would think that their starter box would give you enough for 2 players to play, well, guess again. The entire package, which is miniatures and the board and cards and dice and all the stuff, is for 1 player only, and they don't have variations of it. So what you're supposed to do is essentially buy each, if you're gonna play it, you buy a whole box, the starter box, and then you start separately purchasing the heroes, of which there are now about 15. So it's kind of like Dota, in a way. It's not deathmatch, so you don't need to kill everyone off, you just need to run out of turns and have the most points or the most loot collected and stuff like that, so it's not kill for kill in that sense. But again, the rules look fun, it's just getting into it seems to be a little bit too much of a hassle, and it comes with 5 miniatures, okay? And it costs about it costs more than a Blood Bowl team from GW for 5 miniatures. That's a bit. I know it's stupid to quantify things like that. Yeah, no. It might not be very objective of me, because, you know, I would look at the miniatures first and the game second, and so on, but still, it's a bit much. So both of their products, both of what they're putting out, has the potential of becoming a very much a cash sink, but they are very successful at making it not look that way. I don't like how this is turning out, by the way. Okay, we'll try a shade afterwards. That's what I saw on the Privateer Press front. I also checked out the Warcry things, and it is also very fun in terms of rules, so very simple rules, which will make for a quick gameplay, light gameplay. Really? But did it fund the initial goal? Like, is it the stretch goals that are slowing down, or is it the initial funding? Hey! Suzy Sutherland, how are you doing? Thanks for coming along. Oh, okay. But like the initial target, was it reached within these 2 days, or is it still? Oh yeah, and I completely agree that it's awesome for skirmish games. Thanks for coming along again. Right, so it's still struggling for the initial. That's sad. You know, I would have backed it, but the models just seem, in terms of style, they are very similar to the Norse team that I'm painting right now, and I just wouldn't be, how should I say, up to it to paint a whole other team of players that look as similar. That's not good, because there was a statistic regarding Kickstarter. Yeah, I saw that today he made some corrections about Hippolyta, as in he introduced a new base for her, so that it will be better for her. It will be easier for her to be played on the board, because the initial one was a bit too large and cumbersome. But he's a great guy. I really like his Kickstarter, and the other one after the Norse dude. Yeah. So there is a statistic overall about Kickstarters that they usually fund 95% of what they will fund within the first, 48 hours or so. So if it's not funded within a couple of days, chances are rather slim, which is a pity. He does do very nice things. So here is another one of, so this is from his first Kickstarter. This is another one of the Blood Bowl Norse team that I was mentioning. And it's a really cool sculpt, a really nice mini. And all of them are very, have a lot of character in them. But I don't know, I guess people just don't want to play Spamazons. And yeah, to continue on the topic of skirmish games, I completely agree. Because, well, in general, it should be that skirmish games can give you a lot more versatility in what you do while you play. So you can usually take it, in a narrative way. Yeah, I think you should keep an eye out, and if it gets to about a week and it's not, let's say, a couple of 5% away from funding, maybe it would be better to walk away if you can. But yeah, versatility in the skirmish games. You can play them competitively, you can play them narratively. It's yeah, exactly. This is what I'll expect from Necromunda as we start playing along. Yeah, so it's not really RPG, it's just that you get character development in terms of statistics and profiles, not so much as a narrative change, although some narrative hints here and there in your campaigns is always a good thing. Before you came along, we were just talking with Have No Mouth about the potential of that in larger skirmish games, such as War Machine. Also that. More character in each miniature, you are compelled to spend a bit more time painting them, so you can do much more cool stuff with them. And you rarely burn out while painting such a small number of minis, so all in all, it's good. It's good. I fully support this. So right now, we are a small group of somewhat out of meta players. We got together around Blood Bowl, and now we are trying to expand a little bit the reaches of the game systems that we play. And Necromunda is first on the line, which is why I'm baiting it. Nice, yeah, but here in the nearest local shops. Oh, that's good. That sounds like something that I think pretty much everyone in my group would enjoy. Am I right? I know, Mouth? Where you can use a little bit more imagination and a little bit more of a cinematic overview of things. Yeah. Because that's the thing, that was what I was gonna say, that very few among us don't play like 40k or Infinity. And in Infinity I mean it's in a... Yeah, yeah, totally. But what are you gonna do? And if you're wondering what I'm doing to this guy right now, the idea I have behind these Goliaths... Yeah, but let's be frank, that's been going on for far longer than... Now at least they can blame it on Nurgle, but the phenomenon has been known for a while, even beyond the reaches of the nerdom. So for these Goliaths, I'm trying to give them all very distinct feels, and the only thing that will keep them uniform are going to be the armor plates. So the red on the armor plate is the only color that will 100% copy over to the other dudes. And everything else, so skin tones, color of pants, boots, everything else I will try to make different. And I'll also experiment with a lot of techniques that I've never used before. So it should be a very fun project. Smell is a part of this hobby. And the only thing I'm sorry about when I started this project is that I still use the GW paints. And like I managed over at Brush for Hire, I'm really liking the Pro Acryls. I really wanted to get at the very least the base set, but then the European online store closed. So I'm gonna have to do them with the Citadel stuff. And for this particular guy, I'm trying to give him a sort of a gray gargoyle type flesh with the purple undertones. And it has been a bit of a struggle. As you can see, he goes, the color goes way too dead. Ah, sure. It's just how I decided to go along. Ah, from that. Yeah, so they will be differently painted, but they will look too stitched up, because the same colors will look differently. I'm okay with them being painted in different colors, but if the overall look of them changes, it might clash a little bit. But I'll see. I mean, I'll probably get so overexcited at some point that I'll just say screw it and start it with the flow fills when I get them. We'll see. Alright, so what did I not like around here? So this. I'm just trying to glaze in some of the rougher transitions. And hopefully get a smoother finish. And I might go with Ryclone Flesh Shade over this, just to warm the color down a little bit. I don't know, probably it might just be me being overly worried about it. At any rate, whenever I actually get a chance to buy these paints and receive them, I'll check out how they look and if I can make it look homogeneous with the rest of the theme. Nice. A hunter type gang, as in not among the standard gangs, so like custom one. I really don't know much about the rules or the lore of the game, so you'll have to excuse me on that. Oh, cool. Let's build that up. Ah, Venators, okay. I don't know, it's Venator or Venator, never really heard it spoken out. Let's check it out. Yikes. Oh, that's cool. I just really love the sculpts for these guys, which is why I got them. Okay, so Venator rules. Again, sadly, the profile cards won't really speak to me too much. I know the ballistics are like in 40k, as in you subtract from 7. Is that right? So for accuracy. Or is it the other way around? Let me check them out. Mad robot. Bomb. All right, okay. Ah, okay, get it, I got it. So it directly states the role. Hey there. Thanks very much for your follow. How are you doing? Just looking through some conversion variants. Yeah, these look fine. Oh, not to worry, not to worry. I'm just looking through the torsos. So I suppose the fatigue ones, yeah? Yeah, sure, sorry. There we go. EDF heavy. Oh, they're more faded. Go search. Oh, yeah, I see what you mean. Yeah, absolutely. Oh, that's sick. Nice. Yeah, they really are aliens marines, aren't they? Wicked. Nice. Is Big Aaron the company, or again from the same site? Big Aaron Miniatures. Hespers, there we go. Did you take the colony conscripts? Thunderheads. Whoops. Colony rebels. colony ferals. Is that what you said initially? Maybe scavengers? It's alright. Worry about it. In the meanwhile, let's put some more paint on plastic. My paint actually might be starting to cure. Yeah. Decided to go a bit thicker on the main glob. Ah, system hunters, okay. Well, depends on how you put them together, I guess. System trooper, system hunter. Yeah, okay, I see him now. They're kind of Master Chief. But when you think about it, for Venators, I think they're good. Right. Okay. As a final result when you combine the torsos and the heads. Nice, that's a good idea. I have to start looking into collecting conversion bits like this more than I currently do. I've seen some pretty sweet stuff here and there. I do want to have a individual feel for my stuff. Oh, okay. Yeah, I do get the reference somewhat. Yeah, I should start looking at such websites more often. Because this straight out of the box stuff doesn't always work the best. Or at the very least, you can make it more. Yeah, so the Venators were like the more mercenary ones, the murky ones. Am I right? So the high-tech ones were Orlocks, and then you had the Venators, which were like more along the lines of mercs. unless I'm mistaken. Yeah, well, exactly, in that case, yeah, they fit perfectly. Like a mapped campaign, or just in general? As in a preordained series of maps? Again, I don't really know how Necromunda works yet. I have the rulebook next to me, and just never get around to reading it. I think Clawpalmer was also building the Venators, and he also kit bashed something out of them. Or was he doing Orlocks? Not sure. Yeah, I also remember something along the lines of Gear, but then my brain turns to Orlocks, which were the high-tech ones. I think the like cyborgy looking dudes, the slim cyborgy looking dudes. Yeah, I really gotta get into it a bit more deeper. Because Blood Bowl kinda made me soft on looking up lore and stuff, because pretty much everything goes there. You can build your own stuff. Anyway, hey Clawpalmer! Yeah, actually I was just talking about you. As we have some new visitors. And we were talking about Necromunda. Alright, good appetite. Yeah, so were you... Nice! If you have pictures, please do share along. I'm almost done with a bloody skin. Only problem I have with Necromunda is when I looked at some battle reports, it's, I don't know, in a way it appears to be a little bit on the stagnant side, like this kind of specific GW way of having most of the game static. So everyone just dug in cover and taking around and shooting, with very limited mobility in terms of actual range. So you can go up and down, so verticality is there and all that. But just in terms of distance, as opposed to the size of the playing fields, I kind of get the feeling that it's a bit too little. Well, hopefully, yeah. So this is something I've been thinking about recently, about how dynamics in terms of mobility can make or break a miniatures game. For me, at least. On the other hand, Warcry looked really good to be played. It's very quick and very simple to operate. But people tend to say that it doesn't have too much gameplay depth. But who knows? We'll see. We'll playtest them someday. Oh yeah? Yeah, again, from what I just saw a couple of quick videos on the stuff. Oh, let's take a look. Nice. Wait, this is Necromunda, right? It's alright. Right, so this is Necromunda. Still Necromunda. Oh, this is nice. This is great. Right, and this is probably the war cry. Wicked. Right, yeah, I got it. Looks great, really does. Ooh, that's great. Very nice rust effect here. Awesome. Yeah, are you gonna try and undo the OSL again for these bases? Also, it's scratch built. Dude, I never would have guessed it. Ah, the base. Okay. Ah, the crystals. Yeah, nice. I have to really look into it in order to see, to imagine that this is a sprue bit. Very good, very nice. Yeah, so you do like your crystals, don't you? Remembering the undead team. Nice. And by the way, just to now that you're here, I'm gonna also re-plug another channel that I've been following lately. Brush for Hire has been a awesome place to hang out. Like, now that I've been working from home, I've had some more time to lurk in some more channels, and his is just great to hang out with. Very welcoming, and well, just fun overall. It just has that feel-good stuff. And they're also super long, like 8 or 9 hours, which is perfect if you're on a painting spree or having a slower day at work. It's just awesome. Did you manage to did you have the time to check out James Wapple, like for the painting comparison with the super high speed, throw tons of paint on a model and make it look brilliant? Again, certainly not a style that I would attempt to emulate, because I have exactly 20 years too little knowledge and understanding about the concepts in order to even attempt to put this into practice. But it looks really cool just watching it, just seeing it happen. Mocha Minis was also another fun channel to be at. She comes along a little bit later, and it's a nice place to observe blending, very visually, and overall warmer themed miniatures. So warmer browns, warmer reds, warmer yellows. What else? Oh, Creature Caster, naturally. Slow Fuse. I've been preaching about him for a long time. Like, he gets on, like, pretty late. Starts at somewhere around 11 PM. Our time. Yeah, there's a lot of stuff on Twitch. Quite a bit more than I thought. But the question in my mind still remains: do I risk it and go Reichland Flesh Shade over this guy? Or do I just keep him as is? I'll just work a tiny bit more on the face. Yeah, I will certainly do that, but because I kind of really like the overall color, I just want to give it the tiniest... Yeah, I do. I just want to give it the tiniest bit of a little bit of warmth in it. And I remember that when I used it for... Can I zoom? That's pretty much it. Thank you. And I fear that Reichland Flesh Shade will yellow it out without actually giving it... Yeah, I'll try it. Why not? These are test pieces after all. My red wash isn't a good red wash, so the one I have is... Yeah. The red wash that I have is the crimson. So it's it goes into the purples. So it's not that much red. I would need something that's closer to this in shade form. And if I just dilute this to the point of a glaze, it might just stain the miniature too much. Sepia. I think I have it. Yeah, there it is. Yeah, it's a brownie wash. A bit lighter than the Agrax. But it actually emphasizes on the yellow, yeah. Oh yeah, sure. So no, the sepia I use to... yeah, maybe. Because there was initially Bugman's Glow in the... So the very, very first base coat that I laid down, if you remember, it was actually black and Bugman's Glow. And there have been... So the same progression of flesh tones was mixed into the grays. So that might work. Oh no, you know what? Since so this will be too dark. Now I'll try it on this one. Whatever, I can fix it. So instead of this, I'll use the next level of I'll use the Cadian. Yeah. Because it's actually Cadian and Kislev that I've been putting into the highlights. And if I go Bugman's Glow, it'll darken it up too much. It'll change too much the stuff. Yeah. Good. We have a working plan, but in this case, I'll have to kick up the highlights a little bit more. The Cadian might eat them down. That's a bit too much though. Boo. That wasn't how it's supposed to be. Too light. Too light, too quick. See if we can save it. Gotta go pure gray. Yeah, we did mention that. So the same Jose Mox, so the same dude who made the Norse team, has launched already an Amazon team with pretty much the same overall style and aesthetic. But for some reason, it's not going as well. And considering this is actually his third Kickstarter, so after the Norse team, he had another Kickstarter which was some sculpts that were one-offs. Oh, okay, alright. So he did some one-offs before that, some pretty cool female warriors. There was an orky one, an undead one, a barbarian one, and they look fantastic. And that one got funded really well. So I really don't understand why it would be having issues now. Yeah. Weird. I do hope it comes through though, because again, having two teams of the same type that he does is a bit too repetitive from the point of having to paint them, not that much anything else. But if you're going for a single team, whether it would be either the Amazons or the Norse, they're great. They are great. Oh, so it's actually hmm, actually quite a ways off.
In the spaces all around me, there are no signs. The sounds they shift the boundaries, a bittersweet
Yeah.
design. And as the bird
I don't remember how fast. I don't remember how quickly the Norse were funded. I honestly don't. There is still time. Maybe he didn't market them out as much, or I don't know. Oh, alright here. And there again, the same, these really sharp dice. With the really sharp edges. Yeah, well, phew. Here's hoping and keeping my fingers crossed that it does go through. Because again, he delivers in terms of quality. I think he delivered the miniatures with fairly little delay. So it was something like a couple months, maybe even 1 month delayed. Yeah, so he uses the same foundation for both themes and for the stretch goals. Even the social one, so the printable field, the outline is the same, just thematically for the colors it's a little bit different. But I like the overall look. It's just the details are again fairly similar to the North, and which is why I just didn't take this particular Kickstarter. And also I have some ideas about how I want to do my Amazons at some point in time. Oh yeah, okay. No, I'm just saying it as a overall good thing about the person, so that he is organized and he does deliver on what he says that he will. Because you might remember the other team that I backed on Kickstarter, the Dwarves, that took literally forever. And then meanwhile the company got bought by another company and they had to switch the production place where they made the miniatures, and so you actually received the miniature in a completely, in two different styles. And that's considering that they were a established company, and Jose Mox is just one dude coordinating all of this. So by the way, did you check out the hint that Grebo Games gave out for the orcs? So their next Kickstarter will be an orc one. But this will probably be a little bit weirder than their usual stuff. I mean, it'll sit weirder than their usual stuff. because they do have somewhat larger miniatures, considering the chaos and stuff. And now what I saw, they showed off, I think it was a black orc, and it looked huge. Like, if that's how they do the rest of the team, it'll become something like a Ogroid team or something. It's gonna be a bit too big. Yeah, I know that you generally don't like their over bulky sculpts, and this time I think I will I would be on the same page as you. The orcs might be just a little bit bulkier than they should be. How can I take this? What have I been doing this time? So what did we say? Cadian. Cadian. I don't know. It just... We'll see how things move on. They just hinted one model. They might keep it in line. Now, let's ponder a little bit more. On what to do. Problem is, I don't really have a clear idea of what I want him to look beyond this. Because quite frankly, I like him how it is. Just the tiniest little bit warmer. Alright, I'll give it a shot with the Reichland and where is it? The art coat. Bruises, yeah. That's an idea. Yeah, you're right. Yeah, that's a good idea actually. That's a very good idea. Like at the joints. How can I pull this off? So, it'd be red, and it would be red and a flesh shade. Highlights. Probably Kislev flesh. Yeah, with the medium and the red. Yeah, that might work. and just sketch it in like scraped bruises. Just to give a hint of the red, so that the overall tone itself wouldn't change, but the little bits and pieces of bloodied red would change the value. Maybe. Let's give it a try. Because we are gonna make him pretty battle damaged and worn out, so it would make sense that the flesh is also a little bit tarnished. I might need a super tiny brush for this, however. Super tiny brush. Super tiny brush. Yeah, that'll be fun to try. Yeah? Rackham? It's probably Rackham, that made the confrontation game. Oh, no worries. Yeah, there was some sort of a revival. There was a revival Kickstarter for them, I think. Some of the people that worked there made an attempt to revive Confrontation, but I think it went nowhere. So, what about them? Why would you bring them up? A big failure, yeah, sadly. Yeah, exactly. I don't really know what happened. I think they either they didn't deliver, or what they put out was with a bad quality. I think the details were bad. I don't know. I don't remember, but I do remember that they didn't go well. For whatever reason. Oh, okay. Aha! Okay, actually, let's take the opportunity to check this out. Very fleshy flesh. I should start using references more often. Yeah, so here's essentially the color that I'm going for. Only they did it with browns. They did it with a brown undertone, and I'm doing it with a purple. Oh yeah, you can see just how softly there is a darker protrusion of the undercoat here that gives it a little bit more life. Let's see something else like this guy. Yeah, same again with the purples, just showing a little bit through. this. Yeah, here is the bruisey effect. Yikes. Oh yeah, I think that was a wise decision on your part. A little bit gray. With the horns. Something else with horn. This maybe? Yeah, this is the idea for the effect that I have when you tell me the bruise effect. Right, yeah, exactly. Yeah, that's exactly what I was thinking. Yeah. Right, so this goes... Yeah, here it is, yeah. It is indeed, yeah. The wolves with the big, not cestus, but maybe cestus. Yeah, these are nice. Yeah, here again, the bruisey one. Yeah, but I'll use this one because the overall tone is closer. So this actually would be this purple. This purple with flesh. Yeah, let's see how that'll work out. Because it's kind of pinkish, so it's a vibrant violet, kind of like this, and it goes even brighter. So I'll do it with the Kislev. Is it? Does he have a watermark? Where does it say who he is? Kirana. I don't know. It doesn't give him. Right. Oh, okay. Nice, I didn't know that. Let's try it. Yeah, very, it reminds me a lot of old-time Bulgarian illustrations. Oh, that's cool. With the very emphasized bruising color. Nice. Red won't play a role. Actually, it might not be. Let's give it a shot. That's cool. And the kid runner. Let's see what we get. Okay. Bit more saturation, so it does get pinkish. So, yeah, touch of red. Just a small touch of red. See what happens if I put the red straight in here. Yeah, I think that's kind of it. Purple. There it is. Aha. Let's see how this pans. So where would he bruise? On the fingers, no doubt. Not really. Bye, Clawpalmer. Thanks for dropping in. Good night. Have a good one. Not sure though. What if we were to just take this? get magenta affected? Something like that. This guy doesn't exactly have these types of joints exposed. And if I just go with that. What do we get? Complete coverage is what we get. Yeah, you can still see. Oh yeah, that's good. Okay, yeah. Alright, this is what we're doing. Awesome, very good call. Have no mouth. Thanks a lot. The question is, where the hell do I put it? The one on here is a given. Oh, knuckles. That's a knuckle. Maybe a little bit here. So it will be a little bit brighter. Because like his bruises, oh, so-called bruised skin, is where there is bone. So here on the very edge of the scapula, yeah, no, I will glaze over it. Because look at what happened here on the first couple of knuckles. It looked too much. And then I glazed over it with a normal flash. And we'll cover it up. There isn't enough of a bare flesh place on him for me to do that. Like everything is very muscle Ripley, and if I try to make a stitch, it'll have to follow the curvature, and I will just screw it up. So also here on the collarbone. And the other collarbone. But you know what? The places where the tubes get into, they should be something like scar tissue. And I was thinking about highlighting them in a little bit more irritated skin type of way. So that'll work great. Nice. So much time spent just on this flesh. So right here, when the tube gets into the body, it rises up the flesh and gives a bit of a irritated tone. I think I'm a little bit too pinkish, but that's fine. Here it's okay to be a bit more visible. Actually, no. He has less flesh than a regular Norse. I'm just trying it out in a different way, and since I don't really know what I'm doing, I've never tried these tones before. It's taking me more time to figure out what to do. And since I'm gonna try interesting things on like all of them, true. The same process will probably happen, as in the thinking process will probably be replicated for each and every one of them, but we'll see. Yeah, just a little bit sketchy here. Here and maybe here on the bicep, closer to the shadow. And again, in just a moment I will glaze over it with the gray, and so it won't be so prevalent. But yeah, I think that's all we can really do here. It doesn't really solve my issue, but it's definitely a cool effect to have. Back to the gray now. Real thin. So that's the one knuckle I did additionally. So here it should work the same. In theory. And yeah, it does. It does, but not really gonna be visible from afar. It'll be one of those. I gotta stick my nose right into it in order to see it. Like videos. But that's fine. Yeah, great. It does look like bruised flesh. Nice. Yeah, it definitely does. Again, thanks very much for the idea. Yeah, absolutely. The only thing is that I really shouldn't overdo it, as you said. Because he doesn't have that much bone close to flesh that would create this as a like a overextended knee, like the reference that I'm looking at. And since he is so bulky and bulgy and whatnot, there aren't that many opportunities to place the effect in. But it's still really cool. Right, so here. So it's something very subtle, but looks pretty damn decent. Take a look up close. Yeah, it does look like the flesh is almost about to burst. Ah, yeah, so again, same problem with the flesh. If this plate wasn't there and I had, let's say, the bare chest to work with, I could try to do it. But here I'll have to either follow along one of the big crevices that form in between his muscles, and I'll probably screw it up because I'm not gonna be able to follow it along correctly. So that's something I'm gonna skip. Yeah, that's good. That's good. Oh yeah, just capture this. Yep. And last. Be the bison. There we go. Nice. Again, this is one of those things that will be like a hidden goodie when you take the model up close and start rotating it and see some of these bonus things. But it is worth having. Nice. Now, what do we do about... I'm gonna just try a very, very, very diluted Reichland. Hope for the best. If it doesn't work, I'll just correct it and leave it. Another color. It's fun. I'm thinking about getting one larger model as a whole and just trying a whole bunch of stuff with it. But that would wait for until I'm done with most of the other stuff. And that's going to be a while. Because the enforcers can wait for now, but after I'm done with the Goliaths, I really wanna start on the Bretonnians. just to have another team ready to go. And I've been thinking on a color theme from them. And I think I'm gonna go with green. Because it's probably the last thing I haven't done on a larger scale is green. Out of the primaries that I have here. Green and yellow. Yeah, so I haven't done green and I haven't done yellow. So it'll be a toss-up between the two. Or maybe I can do a checker scheme. Well, not a full checker, just divide it into squares. Yeah, that's an idea. Although historicals would be pretty muted. But I can just go a more saturated version. Maybe. Or a split scheme. Might also be an idea. Either way, there are quite a few Goliaths to be painted by then. So. The next one will for sure be with a green undertone. And we'll probably have the regular flesh colors over it. Like, instead of the purple that I put here, it'll be green. Because that also works kind of well for flesh, I've seen. Yeah, green and yellow. Yeah, that looks good. Oh yeah, I'm totally saving that. Thanks again. Nice. Look at you and your ideas. You're on fire today. Wicked. What's this? Oh yeah, that's... That actually does cover the two colors I haven't played around with. Just gonna have to see how to implement it. Maybe wet blending. Combine a color scheme that I haven't used with a technique I haven't used. What can possibly go wrong? But then again, if I don't try it, how can I ever learn? Am I right? So yeah, I mean, I have to start experimenting at some point, and granted, there's no way everything and anything can work from the first try, so there will be failures. And as long as they help me get an idea of what I can do better than next time, then that... Because like the magnetizing idea was just a flat-out failure. I didn't really learn anything from it other than don't try to magnetize the Necromunda models. Alright, let's see how this will work. Yeah, it does yellow out just a tiny bit. But it does give a little bit of humanity in him, and that's what I want. Yeah, it's a lesson learned, but I mean, by lesson, I mean this is how it went wrong, so something that I should do to make it better next time, instead of this went wrong, don't do it again at all. If you catch my drift. Yeah, sure. I'm constantly looking at stuff being painted. And yet... it always eludes me when I try to put it into practice. Which only makes sense, I mean. It is how it should be. But come to think of it, I haven't seen too much, or at all, attempts at magnetizing Necromunda. At least not the GW stuff. And as for the flesh, I have never seen this type of flesh being done in a different way than this. As in, they usually stop at the point where I'm at. Yeah, I have. Yeah, that's that's the GW idea. But I'm not really gonna do that. Because this is again how a skirmish game, skirmish scale size game, turns into full-blown armies. And I'm not okay with that. More models. No. Something that I could have done, however, is learn the rules first and build the lists first, and then build the models based on the lists. Because right now I have no idea if what I made is in any way or shape or form feasible for play. And I'll just have to end up proxying. Well, duh. Wait, what? Kinda like us, maybe? Maybe. Yeah, that'll actually work. I don't know if it's perceivable on the camera. But yeah, just a very thin layer of this. Warms down the gray just a little bit. That is what I've heard. Okay. That's how you're gonna play it. Yeah, that would have been the smart thing to do. Because now I'll build a model with a huge sledgehammer. And I'll have to say, yeah, he actually has a pistol. Bleh. But oh well. Yeah, so this, it isn't the perfect solution, but it's close enough. And an added effect of this shade is that it kind of further blends in the color transitions. So even if we don't fully get the effect that we're going after, it'll look smoother. And that is a win of a sort. It's something. Just have to have a little bit more patience and not decide to go too thick. That shit'll darken it down like nothing else. I gotta keep it real thin. Right here I overdid it a little bit. There we go. And if this were Pro Acryls, I would have been able to create the same type of filter or glaze. A lot easier from any color. Just trying to do this, the consistency of a thinned wash with a normal Citadel paint is very hard. Because the pigment starts to break if you water it down too much. And if you put medium in it, it becomes gloppy and it doesn't flow off the brush. And the reason I'm saying this is that right now I only had the choice of color from the shades that I had, and otherwise it would have been from all of the paints that I had. I could just make any paint into this consistency. I could have gone with a very thin red, which maybe would have worked better. And yeah, there are stains now. Ew. Oh well. We're doing it. We're doing it. That's not to say that this isn't pretty thick, even though I am watering it down. And the issue that I run into here is that the shade colors in their nature, even watered down, try and pull into the recesses and create little pools of paint, and they dry very darkishly, in a very darkish tint, making it look like a stain. But it's fine, I'll just be more careful. Maybe. It'll work out. Yeah, it did kill off the very dead tone of almost pure gray. So I will count this as a win. I'm just checking to see if I'm applying it symmetrically all over the model. So in some places it's still a bit more grayish than it should be. It's okay. And that bruisey effect is definitely something I will attempt again when working with a normal flesh color. Make it more pronounced. Just as soon as I find a applicable model for it. a little bit more on the face. So that it doesn't. Hey. Oh yeah, like if there's anything that on this whole isolation thing is gonna do is deprive us of a lot of sunlight, and that is very key for vitamin D. And any exposure to sunlight will help drastically fight any type of depressive feelings. So it's really good. That also, yeah, and probably somewhere to do its duty. So what we ended up doing here is some bruisey skin. I don't know if you can see right here on the edge of the shoulder. It went a little bit more pinkish. And now I'm just giving him a whole wash of very thinned flesh shade to bring back a little bit of a living-like color into the gray. And as soon as I'm done with that, I'm going to call the skin done before I completely ruin everything. Because, you know, there just comes a moment where you gotta say enough. Like, this is as good as I can get it for now. And I'm not gonna force my luck into going too crazy. I would have gotten some sunlight myself today, but April's Fool's joke, nature decided to give us a snowstorm. Thanks, yeah, that was the idea, and that was Have No Mouth's suggestion. And I'm not sure if those were the right places to put it in, but it certainly also, I put it here where the tubes go into the skin, where the skin should be a little bit more irritated. I don't know if you can see, it's very slight. So yeah, that'll be one of those kind of Easter eggy type things that you would notice if you pick up the model and put it close to you. Yeah, I suppose not. Also, my color calibration on the camera and the monitors is horrible. But yeah, I think this will be the point where I will call the skin done. Just enforce this a little bit more, a little bit on the lips, and we're done. Yeah, well, I mean, I'm by far not. So my mouth doesn't really cash in what I say, so don't bet that anything I say is actually really as good as it is. But I will be posting some pictures on Instagram, so you can check them there. Whew, okay, now something simpler. Maybe the boots. Yeah, let's do the boots. some rough browns that don't require much blending. And is something that I've actually done on other models, so I have some sort of an idea what I want to do and how I can do it. Essentially, it'll be like a combination between rough highlighting and creating texture at the same time. So with the places where I would usually put something like an edge highlight or something, I'll more along the lines of stipple it, and it'll create a worn feeling, like it's been beaten down and worn. And that usually looks kind of decent. And then I will Agrax Earthshade the hell out of it, and it should end up looking good. So I will use Agrax Earthshade on the boots and maybe the handles of the grenades. And for the leather straps, here, and here, I wash them with that crimsony, purpley thing. And it gives it a little bit of a different hue, so you don't confuse the two materials, so it makes the details stand out, separate one from another a little bit more. And I suppose that'll probably take up the rest of the stream, because as you can see, I'm very slow at what I do. But I wanna test out all sorts of weathering on this guy that I can achieve with brush only, so without using any additional technical effects, such as chips and dents on the armor plates and stuff like that. Gotta keep them separated. And also, I'll probably dry brush a little bit of metallic color on the black of the gun to give it a hammered iron, like a smithed iron kind of look. And I'll see how it looks at the end of the day. Because I haven't been doing pretty much anything in terms of weathering my models. And I think Necromunda is a perfect opportunity to get into that, because the setting is very good for that type of thing. It's conductive for all sorts of battle damaging, scrappy equipment. I might look into how to make tattoos. So these guys have rather burly shoulders that can fit a little bit of a freehand squibble here and there. Yeah, I'm feeling good about all of this. It's a bit scary again because I've never attempted any of it, but at the same time it's exciting because It'll give me a good foundation of an idea where I have to put some more thought and where I just need to put some more practice. Right. Let's get straight to it then. So I ran out of mid-color brown. I'm just mixing it from the base color and the brightest highlight I have. I didn't run out, it's just because the GW pots are so well engineered, the contents dry out very easily. So what it did, so instead of going highlight, edge highlight, I'm gonna go perpendicular to the line. And it's okay if this one is a bit thicker, this layer is a bit thicker. True that. So true. So this will go out a bit thicker. So I have actually some area of color in which to place the ultimate highlight. Otherwise they'll just overlap. Oh yeah, definitely. And it's weird because the paint kits, the paint sets, and the paints themselves, they are obviously made for people that are starting out. Yeah. And they're good for that, but trying to push them to do something that they're not, that it isn't written for them that they are meant for, is hard. Which is why they tend to have a color for everything. You can't really play around too much with them. Or at least that is my experience with my limited experience and limited skill. But I think that's the overall consensus. wet. And the paint is not doing it what I want it to do, but that's entirely my bad. Just asymmetrical lines here and there. Okay, why did I get it decent the first time around? And now it just flows all over the place. And for the base color, I actually mixed in black in the brown, which makes it easier for me to highlight. And when I go with the Agrax Earth shade over it, it'll darken further still the base color. Which in turn will help everything else that will be of a more saturated nature to stand out. That red is going to be the second focal point for the model, the red of the armor plates. So the first focal point is the orange mohawk, and then hopefully the eye will be drawn to the armor plates. Ultimately, the armor plates mustn't be brighter than the orange, which I think is the part of the... And there will be also some shiny dents and scratches on the armor plates for some visual eye candy. I mean, that's the goal anyway. Whether or not it'll work out to be like that is a completely separate topic of discussion. Just rough lines. Almost like dry brushing. But not quite. Because I still have a little bit of control left. But who knows? And also in this way, I will not ruin every other color around it. And again, I will highlight all the brown in the same way. And then I will wash it with a thin glaze of Well, maybe not so thin, actually, for the leathers and the browns. It can tolerate a little bit of a freer, a more saturated brush stroke. There are probably much better ways of doing this. Extent. Actually, at least for the time being. I overdid it a little bit here, but also been trying to reduce the pressure I put on the brush. So far it's been giving me good feedback. As in terms of results. Only problem is that way the paint completely dries off on the brush a little bit quicker. And I'm wasting a little bit more of the colors. But that's fine. At the end of the day, this is what they are there for. Some places it looks pretty decent, to the point where I actually don't want to wash it. But decisions have been made. It will happen. Now this is obviously supposed to be a metal plate. But I was a little bit sick and tired of painting steel-tipped heels. I can understand steel-tipped toes, but not the heels. So I decided to use my artistic license and just call them part of the leather. Oh yeah, actually yeah, you're right. In terms of from the little I found out about the rules, that you can actually go to a downed opponent and perform a coup de grace in order to straight out take them out of action. So if an opponent is prone in any way and you walk up to him, you can just straight off thwack him out of commission. So yeah, from that point, yeah, there is sense into that. But again, why wouldn't you be able to do that with a steel-tipped toe? Because the heel is something that, if it's metal, it will make it a lot slippery. So it'll hurt the balance. Because you can see that this goes all the way to the heel. So it's not just a plate over it. It goes all the way down to the ground. But anyway, it's just a design choice. Okay. Good. Now for the belt and the wrist and all of the rest. And the belt. Putting too much water. Filter. Little bit better, but a little too much brighter. Okay. The nades. How do I give them a more woody type texture? And for them I have to think of another type of wash. Probably the sepia that we mentioned earlier today. Again, just to distinguish between different types of brown material. This, I think, is a little bit too subtle. And when I go back to wash it, it'll just cover up. So I have to ensure that it is more visible. Something like this. Now I will make another pass with just the brightest brown. Isolate where highlights would actually be. And hope that I don't completely cover up the texture that I've been making. Either it's too wet or it's too dry. My ability to control paint consistency. Somewhere between none and 0. So I will only do one side for the straps. So that it doesn't become too much of a game of backgammon on the detail. Because it lays flat. There are no pronounced raise ups except for the absolute ends of them. I'll just choose one side and go over it. Trying to consider where that would actually make sense. Alright. I'm okay with this. probably. No matter how much time it takes on stream, I'd like to have at least 2 colors of details covered. Just to have the feeling that that I'm actually making progress. And considering some of the other details will take a bit more work, such as the armor plates, will definitely take more time. And the fence should be easy, because I'll do something pretty much similar to this. I just roughly smack down some sketchy highlights and then wash it with something. What that something would be, I don't know. Because the highlights will come in into greens, and I'm trying to keep this sort of military green color that has brown in it, brown and black, and the highlights will go into the brighter greens, so I have to wash it down with something that has some brown in it, but not the Agrax Earth shade, because that's too brown. So it'll probably end up being Seraphim Sepia again. Maybe. And then the grenades I might just leave just like that, because they wouldn't really take too much of a benefit, because they're straight lines, sorry. Because they are straight lines, straight sticks. That a wash wouldn't really be beneficial. I might just glaze a base brown over them. Call it done. Yeah, so far I'm not hating it. Probably do a little bit more with the face. The eyebrows are very pronounced as a sculpted detail. So maybe it would make sense to play a little bit more with them. Maybe the lips. But I'll probably just leave it like that. Again, there is a point where you just have to stop yourself. Before you make something that's sort of okay into the garbage. the highest highlight. Try and keep it closer to the detail. And let's say on just the most raised areas. See, here I should have pushed even further in, because right now I don't have much space to work in. My bad. Give it a little bit more dimension. Yes. Some places with more success, other places not so much. Here I'm just gonna cover the lower part. It should be the one that catches more light. Coming in a bit too subtle. Has to be a bit more pronounced. I want any of it to stay after the wash. And also make sure that the lines are well delineated. There is a little bit of space between them. Give that rough effect. Now I see that I've done something really stupid here, and from one side the stripe is brown and the other side it's metal. Okay, now the other foot. Here I have some more room. Yeah, there we go, that's good. Might look a bit too overexposed here, but actually, when I wash it down, it'll blend right in. Technically, the lines should be thinner.
I close my eyes and time.
Either that or not being able to get any paint out of the brush. Let's do this thing here, yeah. These are a bit too thick. I'm just getting a little bit tired now. Once I get these done, I can just smash the wash all over it. Call it done.
Got a meaningless way trolling if tomorrow never comes. Well, I say hello, get out of here alive, 'cause there's one way out, and I failed her.
Not sure if this makes much sense, but it'll look like texture. And that works for me. That should do it. So, Acrex, and what is it? Let's see. As usual, these ones will be uploaded to YouTube later, just to keep a archive that'll stay for a little bit longer. You never know. Maybe I can use it for personal reference when I try to implement something different from the technical side of the stream. Or something like that. I did go back to one of the videos to check one of the recipes, so the color of the pants. I had forgotten how I made it, so I just went to the episode and saw what I did. So there is some use of posting them. How the hell do I highlight these plates? So what I'm doing here is, I can't see, but the lamp is just over the mini, and as I draw it closer to me, I can see which parts of the mini get into shadow last. And these parts are the ones that will need to be to receive the final highlights. So this is a quick and cheap way to determine my values whenever I am in doubt. And you can also use this method to simulate other directions of light source. So you just, if you want it to be 45 degree from the side, just do the same, drag it in, and see where are the last places where the light hits. I've seen this also done with a camera, meaning that you take a photo when it's exposed like this. You just take a front camera and you essentially use it as a paint by colors of where it is most illuminated. Right. Final touches for today. I'll use bigger brush. For this. I will only slightly dilute and thin down the wash. And I don't want to go over the surface with too many strokes in order to avoid messing things up too much. There aren't too many details to wash anyway, so it should go over fairly quick. I need to go over it a couple of times though, because I did overdo it with the highlights, or just use it the wash without thinning it down. Probably also work.
Last night, my heart got right. She even stole my pride. You would have thought she'd leave a note, telling me it's just my luck. Well, damn, it's just my luck.
Oh, ought to do it nicely.
There's no reason for me now to get up and go to work, 'cause I was used, but that's okay. You know what they say. It's what you found, it's what I want. I need it, I feel it. Can you give it?
Just clean off where it pulls up too much.
Can I kiss you? Can I hold you? Will you move with me to California? Can you give it to me now? I take my time, ride around. Oh, I'm starting to feel in line. Look outside, sun is high. Oh man, it's just another day in mine.
Oh wait, this wasn't supposed to be brown. Okay. Oops. That's alright. It'll still take the crimson. Like a triumph. Okay, anything else here? We got to touch up the handle. Because I didn't see it. Right. Now crimson. Just everything that looks like a strap, and that includes the belt. Should try different things for leather. This is what I always do for leather. Should learn to try and stay out of my safe space and experiment a little bit more. Yeah, because of the Agrax. I'm just rushing it now. I shouldn't do that. Belt. And straps. I usually leave a little bit of the wash to bleed out from the sides of the detail and create a pseudo black lining. I'm not 100% sure that contributes to anything. But it does help for the detail to stand out a little bit more. Especially with the darker shades, so with Crimson might not be the best example, but kind of okay. There we go. Maybe another one over. Just for the hell of it. There. And lastly, the sepia. Just run it over the handles real quick. There's no real reason to be too careful here. Oh yeah, and the gun handle. Just for a lot of variety. Just a quick look through. Did I miss anything? Nope. Just a quick look over. Yeah. A bit less of a difference than I usually get. That is because I undercoated with a darker brown, and so the staining ability of the wash sort of dissipates. But that was a different brown, so I didn't really even know what I was doing there. Okay. Still, this is how we're looking for now. Next time I'll do the greens, because they're easy. And then I'll move into the reds. Lastly, screw everything up, I'll go for the metals. Alright guys, so that's all from me for tonight. I'll be back on Monday, where I will continue Albert's adventures across the wasteland, searching for those super mutants, where they come from, what do they want. We shall hopefully find out on Monday. Until then, keep doing what you love, loving what you do. I've been Bachakolio, and I'm signing out. Bye guys, have a good one.